Welcome back to Tempo Control. We thought we were really lucky last week with a Pokemon Direct, but then a Nintendo Direct dropped on us this week, covering the summer Wii U and 3DS games. So here are my top 5 takeaways from the event. Number 5. Nintendo desperately needs the unified storefront. The Virtual Console on 3DS had been lacking for a long time, especially with, the Ambassador games in its early years that had been locked off to those who had not bought the system early. So it was a nice and refreshing change of pace to see Super Nintendo games confirmed for Virtual Console on 3DS. Personally, I own Super Metroid and Super Mario World on Virtual Console on Wii U. So why haven't we gotten any word that you get the games at a discount if you already have the same game on Wii U, if you're buying on 3DS, or even if you get it free like a cross-buy sort of thing that PlayStation's doing? It's because Nintendo needs this unified storefront, and that's probably coming with NX and the whole My Nintendo account and this whole thing that they're trying to integrate, but it's not there yet, and the age of the system is really showing in this regard. It's odd too that they did this for past games if you owned it on Wii and you got a discount on Wii U, so why isn't it the case on comparable systems in the current architecture? Number 4, Star Fox Zero looks better, but has a potentially fatal flaw. Great to see Star Fox Zero again, great to see it stick to that April 22nd, 2016 release date here in North America, though we were hearing rumors before the Direct that maybe Japan and Europe were pushing to have it delayed. Odd considering there hasn't been any marketing yet, so they really have to push on that. Probably the best thing about this, though, is that we got the Project Guard concept from a couple E3s ago by Miyamoto brought into this game, bundled in if you buy it on one of the first run copies as Star Fox Guard. Basically, it's like Five Nights at Freddy's before Five Nights at Freddy's, since the concept was revealed before Scott Cawthon released those games. The big issue, though, is that motion controls cannot be turned off for Star Fox Zero. As Nintendo of America confirmed to IGN, motion controls cannot be entirely disabled in Star Fox Zero, though players will have some options to choose how they are implemented. The game was designed to be played with motion controls, and it would be incredibly difficult to complete certain areas of the game without the independent aiming and flight that they offer. I get that people like the gyro controls of Splatoon and that these are apparently kind of similar in some way, that you can recalibrate with the touch of a button, which is a nice change from what it was at E3, but this is changing the fundamentals, and when you're making the game so much like Star Fox 64, to change it in such a dynamic way, I know you're trying to update it for a new audience, but I wonder if this is going to be the fatal flaw or if this keeps people away. Because if this game doesn't do well commercially, Nintendo could easily point to it and say, people don't want this kind of Star Fox game based off of 64. Maybe we should just kill the franchise entirely, and we really don't want that. Number 3, Metroid Prime Federation Force failed to resell most Metroid Prime fans. Look, Kensuke Tanabe, I get it. You have dreams of what it would be like if galactic soldiers went up against space pirates. You've had this idea since 2009. I get it. But you're going about this all wrong. If the game is a spin-off from Metroid Prime, that's fine. Let it be that. Let it grow on its own. But you shouldn't have to attach the Metroid Prime name to it and say that it's essential for fans of the Metroid Prime series, and say that it's a game that fans of the whole series must play. That's not the point. You shouldn't be so desperate just to sell a game because it's an idea you had back on the DSi and you want it to continue today because of dreams of galactic space battles played out in your head. That's really not how it works. It also doesn't help when you have rumors from industry insider Liam Robertson saying that Tanabe isn't on good terms with Retro Studios anymore, that someone else is heading up the studio, which makes Metroid Prime 4 developed by Retro pretty much not likely. The internet and YouTube drama is a bit much for Metroid Prime Federation Force, absolutely. But still, the point is you shouldn't be calling it an essential game to Metroid Prime when it really more is just a spin-off. Number 2, Paper Mario as we know it is dead. Oh, what a bummer this one was. So you had Paper Mario Color Splash announced for the Wii U, one of the last standouts on the Wii U system. Yeah, and it looked great. Colorful. Okay, you get the splashes of paint that's kind of like Mario Sunshine, but whatever, I'll live with it. Oh no. What's that? Cards? No, stop. I'm pretty sure almost everyone had this similar kind of reaction, like, it's promising, it looks good, HD on Wii U, but once those cards came into play, you lost a lot of people. I even think that's the same fan from Sticker Star. Yeah, stick or star. I mean, you have the first two games, great, classics. Then Super Paper Mario, good game, but not up to that same echelon. Then stick or star, complete disappointment. Then the generally underwhelming sort of combination deal with Mario and Luigi in Paper Jam. And now this? I mean, just look at this picture of Toads. It kind of just shows the effort they're putting in. And number one, Nintendo has a leaky ship, and that's unusual. Speaking of Paper Mario on Wii U, this was teased a few months ago by longtime insider Emily Rogers, and so she was kind of vindicated when this was announced. We've also heard rumors about the mini amiibo game that was a free-to-play game. That also came true. Of course, last week we talked about Pokemon Sun and Moon being leaked by a European trademark site. And then there was also that big marketing document that was leaked that we talked about last week. Well, guess what was on there? Disney Art Academy, and look, that came true. If you want to know though, one of the big things that was on that document is that NX is coming out this year, and it has a Zelda Wii U port on NX. But of course, still rumor, but in case it happens, that's where it comes from. And then before this Direct, a Dutch source took, of all things, a slanted computer picture of files that correlate to the European Direct, listing Monster Hunter Generations. So of all things, they also leaked the Super Nintendo games coming to eShop. What's happened to the tight ship at Nintendo? I mean, are people just trying harder to leak things, or has the culture changed somehow? It's really unusual to see, and hopefully that changes, because this is something that people are not used to with Nintendo. They're used to the big secrets, the big surprises, the Cloud in Super Smash Bros. Coming out of nowhere, and things like that. So if anything, people need to brace themselves for this new future, or Nintendo just needs to shore up and do what they've done for the past years again. So it was a big Direct. I mean, it had other, interesting news bits, such as the awful name for the Shin Megami Tensei Crossfire Emblem mashup, Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE. Oh, that's a mouthful. And then you also have Medley as free DLC for Hyrule Warriors Legends, one of my favorite Zelda characters, so I'm pretty excited about that. But really, the Direct seemed underwhelming to a good amount of people, and I think it's just because it's a sign of two platforms near the end of their time. Wii U and 3DS really just need to give way to NX at this point.